Hello, everyone. Hello, Rune. Hello, Callum. Another end of the month, and our Christmas tradition finally brought back. Finally, 3 years.
After 3 years or something like that.
3 years.
I was just trying to work out, actually, Rune, how many times this has been the case that you've joined us for the Christmas episode. And I think it's 4 times. Which,
yeah, I think that's right.
We've been doing this for like 7 or 8 years. So it's like, I don't know, it's a questionable to call it a tradition. It's definitely regular. But,
it's more than 50%. So,
yeah, perhaps. Yeah, it's lovely to see you, Rune. It's been a while.
You too. I missed you in Aarhus. I saw you standing in the corner. I missed your talk and everything. But
I assume you were doing businessy things.
That sounds almost nefarious, but I did attend the Partner Summit, and then I saw a couple of talks at the festival as well. So
that's what I meant. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Did you? Well, we'll talk about events a bit later.
Yeah.
That's great.
But it's good to see you.
Yes, yeah, from afar, yeah, and nice mug as well. It's good to be back. It feels like it's a long time since I've been on umbraCoffee, and at the same time, Marcin, it probably feels like not that long ago that you were on umbraCoffee, because it was like 3 weeks ago, less than 3 weeks.
It feels like yesterday, to be honest. And then we were talking off the record that I was surprised that this is the final Friday of the month, realistically, because we have, of course, the holiday Friday next week. But it has been quite not far ago. But again, a lot of things happened, and we had extremely busy month, even though it's supposed to be going more silent by the end of the year, but it's not. But yet today is the so far so good. So fingers crossed. Not all of the fingers crossed.
What have you done? What's happened, Marcin?
I had a last-minute pre-holiday hospital visit yesterday, because it turns out that the sport is not always bringing health. If that's the correct name, it was dislocated finger, and I figured out how to bring it back to the good position. Took some pictures, which were not selfies, but were pictures of my finger yesterday, and it was a nice spiritual evening for me. But yeah, I still don't know how I will be typing, because I have been not typing that much until today, now yet. But yeah, I will try after our meeting series today and see if I can work, and if I not. Oh,
you can just talk to the computer, right? That's a thing.
Now these days, probably, I can instruct all the robots, agents, and stuff to do the work for me. And yesterday I was having fun doing some coding with some agents, and I smiled to myself because there was a title saying "thinking" and 3 dots, and said, "Holy crap! I don't need to think anymore. Robots are doing it for me." So maybe that's a challenge and test for me if I can do my work without my hands.
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
I believe that that Umbraco HQ is just finishing a development cycle where you had to use AI tools, and I'm sure they'll release the findings from that. But Rune, inside man, do you have any insight on how that's gone?
I do. It was actually the last sprint, so the last 2 weeks was an AI sprint, and that meant that like everyone should do their normal tasks, their normal job, but try as much as possible to see where AI could fit into the workflow, where it could be helpful, to really understand the capabilities of it. So it's not like we want to force AI in every place, but it's to get a better understanding, because there are some incredible useful things you can get out of it, right? Productivity-wise and quality-wise, and there's a lot of things. So that was the purpose, and we've got Phil on board now, Phil Whittaker. So he was kind of the guide for everyone, making sure that everyone had Claude or the preferred LLM installed correctly, using Visual Studio Code correctly, and all of that stuff. So everyone got the best possible start to it, and he's been super helpful throughout as well. If anyone needed help sorting out issues, so it's been incredibly positive, I think, in terms of everyone I've talked to has said, I've learned a lot, and now I actually understand what I can use AI for. Like, as I think in every every company there's quite a few skeptics, myself included. There's a lot to be skeptic about, I think, but also just so many great use cases, and it's been a real eye opener for us, I think, in terms of what you can get out of AI. So I don't know, it's been really exciting.
Maybe next month we can ask you guys for some summaries, and maybe, you know, it will be seen in the statistics or amount of, I don't know, of collaboration contributions or pull requests, whatever. That would be really interesting to see, or at least the quality of it, if that would be possible to be determined or judged by these things. But I do see it again, and might be boring year after year saying that this AI thing is still a kind of highlight of the year, but it is a huge change. And I was the one also very skeptical, and maybe I was not avoiding topics around AI, but I was not thinking like it will be that good supporter. No. And now I'm heavily surprised on how it can support me, and I'm doing definitely way more than I am capable of, and where my skills were, because I know what I want to do, and now I'm just finding out how to do it, and I can do it. So that's
and that is the. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, the efficiencies and things that like I see in my workflow, you can't deny. I'm still a skeptic when it comes to certain things, because if I hear ChatGPT tell me
as well,
if I hear ChatGPT tell me you're really getting to the crux of the issue, like one more time, and then tell me something that's completely unrelated, I'm gonna hit something. But you know, there's other times where I had to call like an API endpoint 1,000 times this week to perform a bulk action. And I just said, here's a list of all of the values I need you to call, write a script to do it, and then run it. And it did. And so that would have been, 20 minutes of writing something that I'd have done that I saved, all of that time doing. So there's definitely efficiency gains to be had.
Oh, sure. Bjarke used it recently to create seed data. We're working on the new Umbraco portal. And he was creating seed data for that. So a bunch of different users with different roles and names and, all of these things. And it's just really good at creating sort of believable test data, that's way more fun than writing some randomized script thing or whatever to like, it's really cool. And it takes no time to do that stuff, right? So,
and the other thing I've been really loving it for is I find it less useful for doing the kind of day-to-day grunt work. I need to build this feature for this project. I think that's less helpful. But when I want to understand exactly what a piece of code is going to do, or even an internal thing in .NET or JavaScript is doing under the hood, and why I should use one thing over another, it's actually really good at giving that insight. I've, in the last couple of weeks, been working on, everyone hates JavaScript, right? That's fair. And so this is, and I'm not a JavaScript developer. So
you're a jQuery developer, everyone knows that.
Well, in fact, yeah, sure. I'm a jQuery developer. I like jQuery. And then when you bring me TypeScript, and in this case, manipulating SVGs in the browser, which is not an easy thing to do, plus then rendering stuff on a canvas and all the cross-browser and cross-platform nonsense that comes with that, actually, AI was amazing, because it would go, even if it wasn't right 100% of the time, with my limited knowledge, I could spar with it and say, this is the issue I'm seeing. I think it might be this. And, we'd work through things. So it's definitely helpful. Not all the time.
Yeah.
I've recently updated Visual Studio to the new VS 26, and it's really good, except for the AI features. In my experience, I might need to do a reinstall or something. It keeps suggesting complete nonsense code to me. I don't know what it's doing, what it's thinking, but it's almost unhelpful, where every keystroke is suggesting me something brand new that is completely wrong again. Anyway,
are you able to disable it or change the models in Visual Studio, same as Rider does?
So VS 26 they've basically made AI a first-class citizen, like it's been in VS Code for a little while. So you get full Copilot, you get Copilot chat and agents and other stuff directly in the IDE. It's really good, but there must be something wrong with my install, because it's just giving me rubbish back.
But at the same time, code is one thing. I think what I found the most useful usage is like around, finding out good practices, best practices, however you'll name it, because we used to, visit a lot of talks or listen to a lot of other people and ask them how they do things, because we wanted to do our things better. And now, you have a huge database of things done somehow, and it can be scanned through some things that in theory worked better or worse, and naming, which was usually the biggest challenge and the most time-consuming task. Now it's like, okay, I like this name, I don't like this name, give me 5 more, and it's done.
Yeah. It's really good for help, like suggesting things, making a first draft, getting started. You can feed it some context, and then it can get you started on things way quicker. I think it's really good for that. I'm a little bit more hesitant when it comes to creative work, and I'm not saying that coding isn't creative, but there's usually more of a an end point that you can say this is right,
Yes.
Whereas if you're writing copy or like writing a strategy for a feature set or something like that, I find that if you use it too much, rely on too much, then it usually goes off the rails at one point or another, and I find that so frustrating. So I try to use it early, and then for checking things as well, it's really good.
Let's be clear, it's a generative statistical model. So as far as creativity goes, you want uniqueness and your own flavor and things. That's really hard to get right. And ultimately, if an LLM is able to get your creative work 100% right, then probably your work's not that creative. It's been done in some incarnation.
I love that. That's so good.
So bold statement. Yeah, but that's true. Probably that's true. But yeah, we are no longer scared. We're adopting, I believe, and it's like become a normal part of the routine, I believe. And now it's, again, even the most skeptical people cannot run away and step next to it. It's
too useful to ignore. Like that's.
But we've been talking about it last umbraCoffee or the previous one. It has been 3 years since ChatGPT was launched. Right. So Rune, last time when you were here, then you probably went back and coded ChatGPT. That's true. But that's the thing. 3 years, and we are here talking about tools being completely integrated with multiple LLMs, local LLMs, private, closed, and
we've gone from having GPT-2, which lasted a long time, like 9 months, GPT-3, which lasted a while, GPT-4, which lasted there was basically nearly a 14-month gap between GPT-4 and GPT-5, and now in the last 3-4 months we've had 5.1 and 5.2. The pace of iterations got far quicker. There's a heated up competition.
Just like Umbraco.
Yeah. Google's releasing new models left, right, and center. It's almost hard to keep up, but you choose your thing and you run with it. And it's cool. I hear so many people saying great things about Google's models for lots of stuff, but not in a development way. So I'm intrigued to see if anyone, maybe let us know in the chat if you're using anything other than ChatGPT or Codex and Claude and Claude Code and those models, Copilot. Like, are you doing anything else for coding? I'm very intrigued.
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned Umbraco, so let's talk about Umbraco a little bit then. And if we have a plan, an agenda, let's maybe wrap up some kind of news and December things first, and then we can go beyond and dream further about adoption. And Callum, you've highlighted it before we went live. The whole 24 days series, which it turns out we both missed with Rune again. But
I've had a lot of time on planes in December where I can read articles. So I've caught up, and I've picked out some of my personal favorites from 24 days.
Walk us through it, please.
Since what are we now? The 19th of December. So some great ones that have come out. Owen on the 3rd kicked off with this article about choosing well-being over your dream job potentially, and Owen's been really vocal on this topic in the past about his journey with burnout and leaving his role and having to work out what he wanted to do, and it's just a really nice warm story about his journey there. So I really highly recommend this one. It's a really This one I did actually read Owen's. That's the only article I've read this year. I'm usually saving it for Christmas, but I saw he mentioned it on LinkedIn, and then then I had to dive into it because he usually has some really good points around these things. It's really good. it's great. So the links, of course, will be down below as always. This one from Niels on the CMS team, of course, about how different components in the new back office actually talk to each other, which is really interesting from a like an architectural perspective to learn how. I've been playing a bit with the V17 now back office, and I'm getting comfortable with it. I quite like it at this point, but Niels sort of dives into more of the inner workings about all of this, and there's a lot of let's create a simple this, that, the other. I mean, this is still far from simple as far as I'm concerned. It looks incredibly complicated, but if you want a nice, easy way of digesting some of that information, this is a great article to read with real examples, not like the docs where it might be a sort of make-believe scenario or something. Niels is kind of showing you literally everything and how you might do it. So good article as always from Niels. What's next? We had, I love this one. Mostly because we've been dealing with a similar issue in the last little while, and Jason on my team shared a similar sort of set of tips about things to help your Umbraco site not get DDoSed. So this is from Jesper, and it's about trying to keep your site healthy against bad actors and whatever else. So common tips, things like making sure you're caching properly, making sure that you're serving the right headers, and caching responses and all kinds of stuff. It's a really nice, very practical set of 5 or 6 code snippets you can take away, pop on your website, and get going with. And actually, I was going to highlight this unwanted requests thing, because we've done a few bits of content in the last month about DDoS and also scaling, and this is one of the largest sinks of resource we've seen on basically any high traffic website. People poking and prodding for WordPress URLs or whatever. And if you've got a certain combination of Umbraco plugin, like like a redirects plugin, for example, the chances are it hits one of those URLs, goes, that now is a 404. It goes, looks up what the 404 might be, looks up your redirects. It does several database calls, and then eventually returns the user to a page. And if they do that in an automated way, tens of thousands of requests an hour perhaps, it's really easy to swamp an Umbraco site. Very quick Cloudflare rule can sort that right out. But this is a great tip. It's a really great tip.
Yeah, I think it's a year of AI, but it's also the year of WAF and Cloudflare, because they are also becoming a really, really important tool. So we introduced a lot of features for that on Umbraco Cloud as well, because it's needed these days, right? So both for handling these kind of things, but it's actually a lot of it is also just good for performance in general.
I was going to say, because one of the launches that we had this month was kind of already known that it will be high traffic when it's launched. And we started doing this on Umbraco Cloud, and I knew that Umbraco Cloud has this Cloudflare caching and rules, but one thing that was limiting us in this particular case was invalidation, which was not that quite easy when it comes to the TTL as the only factor of invalidating cache. But I explored a lot of Cloudflare. We handed over Cloudflare account from the client a couple of days before go live, which was.
I remember you wrote that.
I wrote to you, and I wrote a couple of the Cloud team guys saying, guys, please help me if there's any bypass for us to just use Cloudflare even more. And we were so happy that Cloudflare gone down weeks before this launch, because we were just seeing this as a huge risk if it won't be possible to use it. But now I agree with you guys that Cloudflare became a kind of mandatory part of the setups if you want to have the efficiency and performance and generally everything. And we noticed recently, all the architecture behind the Cloudflare is kind of now this Pareto's 20% of importance, basically. All the rest is the good setup on Cloudflare and validation, being able to collect it up front, and the rest is details, right? So that's interesting switch for us as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a huge fan of Cloudflare, the product and the team. I know a few of the engineers that work at Cloudflare as well, and they're doing great things. Even in the world of AI, like it's kind of becoming the gateway to anything Cloudflare. They just put database products behind their services. They've got storage, they've got AI gateways, they've got all of the web delivery and performance stuff that we know about, security monitoring, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really good. So.
Bot management is something we're investigating for cloud at the moment. Also to make sure that you can allow the correct bots to crawl your sites and get rid of the other ones, right? And that's a really great feature. There's some cost considerations involved with enabling that for thousands of sites all at once, but it's a super cool feature, and it's going to be really useful.
We enable bot management for a client in the last few weeks who've been struggling, and it fixed so many issues like immediately for their public website. Little did we realize that it was also their accounting software was running through the same Cloudflare like rules, and their own accounting software is being flagged as like a bot and filtered out and broken. So that was fun. But yeah, like especially on your public URLs, put it on, because you can set the thresholds quite high as well, and just say, you know, if someone's going to attempt 100 requests per second, then let's filter them out. But anything else, sure, you're fine. Like, go for it.
But even things like geolocation or things like that, right? That became so simple these days when you have this all from there.
They just pass to you, and we've done. I should do a little article about this at some point. We've done like geo-fenced blocks in the CMS where you can say this block only shows for people in these regions, and because Cloudflare passes a header through, you can say, okay, filter that out. We give the user in the CMS a big list of countries to say, I do or don't want these users from these countries to see this block, and then we can have like a credit card that's only available in a certain market promoted, but it's managed as one node in the CMS. And with Umbraco Engage as well, you can build a custom, like you can segment based on that header that Cloudflare gives you, so you can start to, you know, dictate your traffic and stuff. It's great, which before would have been, I remember back in the days, you'd have like was it MaxMind, the
third-party geolocation service, which was not ideal.
You'd either have an API that you'd call off to, which is slow, or you'd have a database that you'd keep yourself, and you'd have to update it every like month with new country codes. It's like, oh, what? No, this is so
it is wonderful to have everything gathered in one place. Also, there's concerns about that over the last 6 months, right? When almost the entire internet goes down from time to time.
Only 17% of internet, but felt like a lot, right?
And it was only for about 30 minutes, but it also felt like forever, and the rippling effect of things take a while to come back.
Have you seen this downtime detector of downtime detector of downtime detector of downtime detector?
Is it down for me was running on or down detector was running on Cloudflare as well, so you couldn't even check. Really. Anyway, Cloudflare's great to use Cloudflare. And if we go back to the 24 days articles, another good article was from Lyle Lanley from Cogworks, not a real person, but you'll be able to work out who it is. Sustainability article, again, about little optimizations you can make, small tweaks and changes you can make to your setup, including optimizing images using CDNs, etc. So again, really great set of tips on this one. We'll be hearing a lot more about this over the next few months, I think, because Umbraco Search, which is the new kid on the block as far as the future of search in Umbraco, is coming, and I think it's now been tipped for Umbraco 18. That's the goal, at least, to have that in the core native. This is a new set of abstractions around search, which is all provider based. And I saw Ken last week, and he told me, the number one focus for him in the new year is this, and getting various open source providers ready for V18. So that's really exciting. But Ken's got a really nice article here that explains what the new Umbraco Search is all about and what the extension points might be. He's got some fantastic articles on his own blog as well that sort of add to this, and he's been making some open source providers too. Just to like related news, Shannon this week finally released Examine v4, and we started a PR to get that into Umbraco. I don't know how relevant it is, because this Umbraco Search abstraction already uses Examine v4 and will continue to. But a PR for 17. I don't know what will happen. But still, it's great, and it's an exciting time in the world of search. So go check this one out. And then the final
that's just really great news, because like Examine is still important for Umbraco, right? It is the default search provider in Umbraco, so it just provides a lot more opportunities, flexibility into.
Not going away, as Ken said the other day at Umbraco DK Festival. It's super important. It's possibly the best in-process search we have in .NET. So like it's a great option. But what Umbraco Search is doing is abstracting it just that little bit more, where you don't have to learn Examine's query language or even Lucene. You can just use the Umbraco one. And then later, if you decide we need to use another tool for whatever reason, it's a few lines of code to swap it out rather than rewriting all your search, something you probably also don't understand. That's great. Or you can go use Examine directly still, and that's fine too.
Yeah. And it is just it is a more correct .NET architecture, I would say, abstracting it out, right? So it's really good. So chuffed for that.
Exciting. And then the final article I wanted to highlight, which is hot off the press, a couple of hours ago came out, is one of my favorite traditions that 24 Days have done, is Lottie's Christmas cryptic crossword. I've not yet started doing it, but I will have a go in a bit, because I love these. So it's an Umbraco themed cryptic crossword. So that was the 24 Days in Umbraco highlights. I think that's pretty exciting.
Another great year. I'm looking forward to diving into it over the break. Yeah, there's almost one for every day I'm off, so it's fantastic.
Awesome. Good time. Maybe let's talk a little bit about how 2025 has been. It's been a busy year, I think, for a lot of us. But Rune, you've had a new role. Do you want to talk a bit about
that? Yes. In August, I started as product manager for Umbraco Cloud. So I switched from a pretty big switch, I guess you could say, in a way. I switched from the content and brand strategy team to where I did product communication. I switched to the product and engineering team, where I'm doing product management now on Umbraco Cloud. So, I mean, there's still quite a lot of overlap in terms of there's a lot of communication around the product. So I, of course, draw from my previous experience on that, but then it's way more focused on one product. The good thing about working with cloud is that we work with almost all of the products on a regular basis, right? The CMS is core to what we deliver. So our forms and deploy and a lot of the packages are used heavily on cloud as well. So we get to interface with almost the entire product portfolio. So it's a fun role, and it's great. I was there when we launched cloud. I was one of the first supporters there, so I know where we came from and the journey we've been on, and where we want to go. It's great fun, I think.
Awesome, that's very cool. And of course, at the same time, you've got a new lead of the team as well there in Bjarke, who's joined not shortly before you, I think. So that's also exciting.
Beginning of the year, end of last year. Oh, beginning of the year. Yeah.
Some fresh blood in the cloud team to take it to that next level, which is very cool. Yeah. Maybe I'm going to ask you a very, very direct question, Rune.
Come on then.
Go on, should we do that? Because someone on my team asked this earlier this week. I don't know if this is public, so someone send an axe in the post to me if it's not. But the sort of core CMS team priorities for the next 6+ months are around things like EF core and using that in the core over in Poco. It's things like it has been things like the hybrid cache, and it's been the updates there. There's been more changes about making things in the core asynchronous. And the question that this anonymous person on my team posed to me is, when will Umbraco admit that every change they're making to the CMS is just to make cloud more efficient? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. So the question to you is, Rune, is that a consideration? Do you work with the CMS team to work out how you can make the core product more efficient, because it will ultimately make your cloud product more efficient and therefore more, I guess, economically viable?
I mean, that's a consequence more than a directive, I would say. We do work together quite a lot, and when the great thing about doing your own hosting and providing development environment for your core product is that we actually get to see it in action. We do support on Umbraco sites that are live, and that allows us a level of insight into it that we did not have at all before cloud, right? So time and again we've identified performance issues with like database queries and things like that, but we can identify a pattern because it's happening on multiple sites, and then that can feed back into the CMS or back into Engage or whatever product it is, right? So that's the way I would look at it. Of course, it is also a priority that cloud is better, but I think that just makes the CMS more efficient. There's not like hybrid cache or abstracting the search or using EF Core is not something that's specifically targeted at cloud. That's just...
They are all things you could take a lot of advantage of to make cloud more efficient, but I guess it's, if that's the priority versus...
But I would also say that maybe it wouldn't be that high priority if it wouldn't be beneficial for the cloud, because all of those features and all of those refactorings, all of those improvements potentially would have been done sooner or later, but most likely later if it wouldn't be profitable and beneficial for the product or stakeholder that utilized it the most. And I think one thing that I also realized, which was because we started using cloud more often as well, it's like, cool, we want to use it, and probably the same as many other agencies, clients, developers would love to use it, but there were some limitations and they're slowly going away because of those changes. And some of the shared memory allocation, for example, right? There's a lot of limitations like this, which wouldn't be a problem if you would be just hosting it on your own resources. But then you see it now, you can sort it and you can find the ways out of it for the product, which will be then again better for everyone, because it's not everyone is hosting it somewhere. It's always someone else's computer, right? So that's interesting to see, and I think that's beneficial for us all, because priority. You are dictating priorities for yourself internally. That's a good stuff to have, right?
Of course, and you need to do that, but it's not just for cloud. Like that goes for all products. You have to consider: is this change going to hurt, or is it going to benefit, or where is it going to benefit, right? So I think that's normal when you have multiple products you're working with. It is not like a number one rule that everything we do needs to make cloud more efficient. I think it would be a great rule of thumb to not make it worse by what you're introducing in other products, right? And again, if we can do anything to help make the CMS or Engage or any of the products better, deploy. We've had some really great advances in efficiency in deploy over the last year as well, and that's also a consequence on some of the support work that we've done on cloud, right? Like these things, like there's a great feedback loop there. So we don't. I don't think we need the conspiracy theories at all. It's just the normal way of working with products.
I also think having a set or fixed, maybe not a fixed, but a core set of features inside of the CMS makes it possible also to, because I do remember, for example, Stack Overflow and their discussions about zero allocation methods for some string manipulation, because they were able to see a huge, for example, drop of resource consumption. So having also maybe a division in between of, okay, we are optimizing performance of what we have versus we are building a new features that will potentially decrease performance, because that's usually what happens.
The other challenge here is Umbraco is effectively PaaS, and you're letting people run Umbraco Cloud is PaaS, and you're letting people run various versions of that all have different levels of efficiency and improvements. Some might not have those fixed and things in there. So unlike the Stack Overflow thing where they can optimize their entire stack because they control everything, actually Umbraco doesn't. So the kind of
we can do a lot of suggestion and say this is the right way to do it. We would advise you to things like that.
And ultimately, you can do that, and it will take years for that to properly trickle down into all of the different solutions you've got running. So
that's that is the name of the game. And then like another thing you might have seen lately, we published the end of service policy on cloud, which is also a way of encouraging people to get an upgrade plan in place for it, at least for being on Umbraco Cloud, right? Because as you mentioned, they're having so many different versions, and that is a lot from 7 to 17, right? And all the minor versions in between and the patch versions. It creates quite an overhead for a platform like Umbraco Cloud. So we try to be fair about setting some end dates on when we support different versions, and then now we have a policy in place where people can actually plan for it. Like you can see, these are the exact dates. You can talk to your customer about this. This is by this time we need to do these things, so let's plan it in advance, right? So I think it's actually a really good tool going forward. It is going to be a little bit annoying for some of the current customers on older versions, but I think it's ultimately going to be a really good thing going forward.
That's an awesome segue to something that I had to mention, which was Umbraco 13 is officially entering security only phase now. Obviously, yes. It's not close to retiring just yet. We've got at least another year left on support, but security only phase, which means 17 obviously is now the kind of latest, the LTS, and the kind of the version that people are going to be recommended to use if they're starting now. So we're starting to think about with our clients what those 13 to 17 upgrades might look like. We've got 12 months-ish left until the support ends on 13. So especially now going into the new year and new financial years, it's a great time to be getting that budget ring-fenced so you can plan for those upgrades.
Funny enough, after this round of upgrades from 8 to 13, now we are entering the phase of upgrades from 13 to 17 or 18, because that's also how my new year will start, because we finally convinced a couple of the clients to do that. And I think, again, after the recent last minute go lives of Umbraco's 16.4, which now effectively is bumped also to 17, we are quite confident to use it. We know how to migrate it, and it will be definitely less painful journey than 8 to 13. So
this is what I was going to say. We've been looking at some kind of finger in the air estimates for these upgrades, and for the smaller sites where they're just using core property editors and not doing too much, we're estimating in the region of days, not weeks. For these kinds of 13 to 17 upgrades. And even then, that's with the new back office, because we're using plugins that are going to be available, and there's a few things we'll need to do and test, but it's nowhere near as scary. So that's a big relief. And even the more complex ones, we're looking at, no different in size, where we've got heavily customized back offices, no different in size to those like 8 to 13 upgrades or something. We've been planning for these things for a while. It's good.
And hopefully this is the not the last, that will probably be too much to promise, but for a good long while of these bigger upgrades. There has been a few years between them as well, although sometimes it can seem like it's every other year that something big is happening. But I think the entire technology stack is in a really good place now, where we don't need those huge changes. So I think that's
the reason it feels like there's no gaps between them is because we talk about it so much now, and that's great. Because if you look back to even version 6 to 7, that's unfair actually, because Bell was spoken about a lot when that new back office came in 7, and actually 8 was spoken about a lot. But I think with 8 it was a lot of like myths and rumors about what it might be versus concrete examples. Whereas with the .NET Core project and the other recent bigger migrations, those have been really clear, really communicated, done in the open, spoken about at length for probably 12 to 18 months before they even become a thing for everybody. So it feels like, one thing stops.
With 8, it was also more of a surprise. I think when the release of it, right, that happened fairly quickly. Whereas now we have just a steady release cadence, so it is so predictable when things are going to happen. The only thing that can happen is that it gets postponed to a later version, right? That's you're not going to get surprised any other way, I don't think so. I think that's helpful as well.
I also think like the chain of dependencies and the lack of right now synchronization also with .NET is helpful and helping. And as soon as there won't be so big surprises there, and then new shift of languages behind the scenes, or the new dependencies that will block Umbraco from evolving in that pace. As you mentioned, it will just await to the next major or next minor, and that's fine. Everyone is happy with it. But that also is a consequence probably of the amount of team members that can potentially look on the issues separately as well, and predictable releases, because you decide where to put things in, and then they are in that release. So that's definitely changed, even if it was talked a lot in the past. Now it's talked even more, and maybe in different circles, and that helps for the product to evolve in that pace, because it's quite fast paced still.
It also seems like it's really clicked now, the whole LTS strategy, even though like a lot of other products use it, right? But we can really see now that when we release an LTS, that's when people they know now this is when we upgrade, right? We don't, and it's of course we would love for more people to use the other versions as well, because the more people that use it, the better the feedback loop is and things like that. But I think it's a healthy sign as well that people trust in the LTS versions, and that's when they act on it, right? So I think that's actually been really good to see as well.
Spoken about this a lot as far as our strategy is concerned. Before we would just tell clients, you need to be upgrading semi-regularly, and it would be quite hard to quantify what those look like. But now they get a choice. They can evaluate their appetite for risk and their appetite for change and investment in their product. And if they are doing regular development, we're talking just ongoing constant sprints, then there's not really much harm in upgrading and keeping on your STS versions, because you'll just always be on near the latest. But if you're more risk averse, maybe working in a compliance heavy industry like in finance, insurance, where they need sign off and thorough testing and things of platforms, then the LTS is a great option. So choice for the first time in well, it's been a few years now, but we've got choice, which is lovely. I was going to bring up a couple of other Umbraco news bits from HQ. One of them, speaking of patching, was a security advisory for Umbraco 13, which relates to, I think, being able to execute some code that you shouldn't, or no, that's not true. Being able to poke and prod the file system to check if certain files exist, basically. If you're a logged in user, and it affects all versions of 13 up to 13.12. So 13.12.1 is out and has that patch in it. No information as far as I've seen that it affects other versions, but of course other versions prior to 13 aren't supported anymore, so they won't be getting security patches unless you're on a XLTS. So just go make sure you're patched up. And if you've got XLTS, ask your account manager.
They should be notified directly. So you don't need to, you shouldn't need to ask anyone. Fantastic.
Cool. So that's the security advisory that was from late last week or early last week. The other one I was going to highlight was the MCP server. We've been hearing a lot about this since just before Code Garden earlier this year, and Umbraco has actually in the last few weeks released the official general availability version of the Umbraco CMS developer MCP, and I'm really glad that the name has been given, so that it's, because it was previously just Umbraco MCP, and it's like, okay, because I've been quite vocal on how I think it's wrong to be telling end customers that Umbraco has AI, because it does, but you need to configure stuff in JSON files to make it work, and you wouldn't want to use it on a production system. So the original MCP server that was built was very much designed for developers to do things, and it was being more optimized in recent versions to help developers. And there is plans to do then a content editor MCP as well, I believe, that will be
editor edition, I think, maybe.
Different feature set with more locked down access, or won't have all the same tools and things.
More targeted towards working with the content in the site and optimizing that side of things, right?
That's really exciting, and we've just got an Umbraco MCP or developer MCP beta 2, or whatever the versioning is. I'm not really keeping up, but it's optimization again around when you're working in VS Code or something, having that additional context and making sure you get more accurate or faster responses and use less tokens ultimately to get to the same result as well. So that's out, and it's on npm.js. You can install it and you can give it a try if you're running it locally. And yeah, so there's regular updates coming for the MCP server too, which is pretty cool. And I was going to give a shameless plug to an article that Jason on my team wrote, because it relates to Umbraco 17. We've been for a while using Umbraco Commerce, and also we've been load testing our sites, and we build some quite high traffic, high scale, high performance websites. It's really important that they work well at scale. So we were really keen to learn what Umbraco 17 was like, especially with Commerce 17. And well, the headline is it's like a 35% improvement across the board by upgrading, which is really cool. And the biggest impact on that is the removal of runtime compilation of razor views in your solution. So I was having a chat with someone recently about upgrading from 13 to 17, and they were saying how they upgraded to 17 and it's actually been slower. And we got into the crux of it about why. And if you do a like-for-like 13 build, things that worked in 13 that were somewhat efficient are not necessarily efficient in 17. Things like using .children or .descendants. We've been telling people for years, hey, you should probably not use the Descendants API, but people still do. And with the new hybrid cache that came in 15, you can set the seeding of that cache to be only put 1,000 items in the cache. And so when you call .descendants and then you check on one of those properties or something, in 13, that was quite fast because it was all in memory. And in 17, it's not in memory. So it results in a database call, brings it into memory, and then your code runs fine, exactly as it did. So, and the same with if you just do the upgrade and you follow the standard recommendation, which is to keep this dependency installed, then you're not going to get the performance benefits. But if you review some of those things and make the tweaks, you can get a really significant improvement out of these upgrades too. So that's another reason to upgrade and to invest a little bit in getting it right. Again, link down below. We'll share our tips, and there's a video as well where Jason walks through everything.
I was looking recently for some performance stats or benchmarks. One of our clients wanted to know, how big is the change. I think generally it's not a lot of information publicly available for even .NET was releasing this kind of updates from the .NET itself. But for Umbraco, we used to have one of those services done by Moriyama or someone else back in the days. Or
Pete Duncanson, Off-Road Code.
Oh yeah, Pete Duncanson. Yeah, that was one of the tools. But it would be lovely to see this kind of baseline benchmarks. Maybe even on cloud. Maybe.
Now, like as late as yesterday, I was chatting to Boletta and Amelia, because both the CMS team and the DXP team and the cloud team are all really aware of this, that it's actually really important that we know how the different versions perform.
And do we improve or not, right?
Yeah, both because we need to know if there's something we need to fix or improve, but also for marketing purposes, it's actually really important that we can highlight what has changed and how it has changed. And that goes for you as well, for people who are building with Umbraco. Like it's a really important point when you're talking about the upgrade. Like when you say a 30% increase in performance or whatever, that is a selling point. So so we are actively working on figuring out how we can do that on a consistent basis that actually provides some good comparative results. We are aware.
Send me an axe in the post again, but it's, from what I understand, it's on the priorities for next year to look at, like how can HQ do more reliable and open benchmarking of the of at least the core CMS, which is awesome.
It is. It's annoying for ourselves that we don't have a good answer when people ask. That's just not. It's not how it should be, So definitely.
But even on the releases page, which we often use to compare amount of features or fixes between the versions, right? Things like having a baseline project running on cloud on the same size of the machine, same memory allocations and things, and just set of scans. That might be more than enough to cover most of those communication. And I think again that's quite needed, and I think we've been trying to do this, but not always having enough resources and time to finally do it. So
I'm not saying we're not doing that. We are doing exactly that actually. So yeah,
exciting.
But more to come on that in the new year.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, so maybe we can just to wrap up then to touch on. Basically, events have been my life for the last 3 months at least. I've been on the road a lot. I have an app that tracks how much flying I do, and unfortunately, I hit 12 days in the air this year, which is a little bit.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's not a thing to brag about, but I've earned elite status with 2 different airlines in the last 3 months.
Nice.
This to say, I've been at lots of community events, and it's lovely. It's been lovely to see community things in Umbraco and beyond Umbraco as well, actually. But things like Umbraco in the City, which was in Manchester in November. We had Umbraco DK Fest a few weeks back. There was the Swedish festival and the US festivals in October as well. There's been various pop-up smaller events like V17 launch parties with the
so cool to
group.
see.
We did one in Sydney as well. But yeah, it's been really cool. And I was going to just share a couple of these images from DK Fest last week. Hopefully, gets a sense of a bit of the buzz. But they had bumper cars. What are they called in Danish, Rune?
Radiobiler, so radio cars.
Yeah,
radio antennas on them or whatever. I don't know.
Every Danish person I spoke to last week pronounced that word completely differently. So, so that's fun. But yeah, bumper cars, great addition to an Umbraco event. Gets no better way to get the friendly out than smashing into your ears. Friendly smashers. But yeah, no, that was really good. And DK Fest last week was certainly a highlight for me. Rune, you were there. You said
event-wise, if you would select one of the events that did something different, or anyone that you would probably return to, if you would select only 3 events, not 300 for the next year.
For me?
No, starting from Callum, maybe. Rune, you can.
Okay, yeah.
All the events, haven't I? Do I have to pick an Umbraco?
Pick your favorite.
Favorite one, not only Umbraco one. If you have some kind of nice overview of the events that maybe everyone can,
Good. Okay, I do have an answer, and it's Umbraco adjacent, so it's fine. We have a series of events in the UK and also in Australia called a DDD, Developer, and they are community accessible events that are put on a Saturday generally, and they are either free or very low cost, sort of sub $100, sub €100 type ticket price. They often include childcare and other things as well to just make these as accessible as possible. And it's been really eye-opening for me being part of 3 of those this year in Australia, where I've been involved with those in the UK for a number of years, and both the community buzz and the feel, and also the genuine interest and passion of the people that are there, because they're going on a Saturday, generally not supported by an employer, is awesome. And also the level of diversity at some of these events in Australia has been truly amazing, like sort of 30-40% non-male attendees, really good racial diversity as well, and just generally a really nice, happy feel for these events. It makes me feel like an Umbraco community event without it being Umbraco focused. And in the UK, a lot of the Umbraco community in the UK take part in those all across the UK, and in Melbourne, where DDD Melbourne is. Emmanuel, who's obviously now the head of the APAC region for Umbraco, longtime community member, former MVP, has been involved with those for a while. Umbraco are actually sponsoring DDD Melbourne in February coming up. I'm going to be speaking there again. Like it's like a little family. It's really good, really, really good events. These aren't small either. DDD Melbourne's about 600 people. So This is really, really awesome. That would be my highlight, my one event. If you could choose one event next year, Marcin, it's in February in Melbourne. But what about you? Do you have choices, both of you? Favorite events?
I can start because I haven't been attending that many of these this year, because that was my intentional decision a couple of years back to limit it to the amount. That's why I'm asking also, because if I will need to really choose, I would probably choose a couple of these. And I unfortunately missed Beyond Code, which was my highlight the year before, which was completely not about code, but about everything which is attacking us from various angles when we do the creative developers or management roles. So that was my 2 years ago highlight. But this year, damn it, I was at Code Garden, of course. That was one of the biggest events that I have attended. And I not intentionally, but I visited Ravi's London's meetup last a couple of weeks ago, which was not having the quiz, which I always heard about. So it was like the
I know. I was in Europe, and we were doing our Christmas party on the same day, but there was a debate of like, do we try and make it to London after the Christmas party so that we can do Ravi's quiz? And it didn't happen. So that decision was made. We won last year. My team won last year, so we have a title to defend.
Cool.
We'll be back next year.
I think then the Code Garden still would be my choice. I haven't been attending other festivals, but I still miss a smaller meetups atmosphere, which exactly brought me some memories, which you've mentioned about this kind of vibe of developers centric events, which were purely about code and how we fix things. And now I also missed, because of the Christmas party in London, one of the events in my hometown, which was exactly about that. So I do believe that this would be my 3 items that I would focus next year to be there and attend. So that's me. And Rune, what about you? How many events did you attend this year? And what were your
Sorry, I attended 3, I think. And Code Garden is the easy answer, of course. But I think also for a number of reasons. I'm pretty excited to see what happens when we return to Copenhagen. We haven't been there since 2015. So it's like the end of an era for now, at least in Odense, which I think has been great. But it's also good that we're trying something new again. I'm excited to see what the location does to the event. But I'm also excited to see the changes that are happening. So we're trying to include the business track a bit more on Code Garden itself, so we don't have a separate partner summit, but it's a bit more like the festivals and partner summits have been combined on the same days throughout the autumn and winter here. And I think that's actually going to be really good. It's going to be easier to justify for a company to attend with 2, 3, 4, 5 people when it's a shorter amount of dates they need to be there, for example. So I think there could potentially be some really positive things coming out from that. And then I think it's also good that we can include some of the business side of things. They can be attending more of the event and kind of be more included in the community side of things as well. So I'm really hopeful that will all succeed. But I'm sure Stevi's got it under control. So I'm super excited for that.
Yeah. So the Code Garden new website is up, and it's no longer built on Uno. The new site is a fresh build.
Umbraco 17.
Umbraco 17, and it's they've publicized at least an image for now of what the schedule is going to look like. So the dates are announced. It's the 10th and the 11th of June for the main event. There's some workshops and hackathons the day before and after, and then there's an invite-only MVP event the Tuesday, on the Monday as well. I've been told that the MVP event does run all day on the Tuesday as well, despite what this says. And so that's exciting. So it's going to be a different event ultimately, isn't it? It's like
it is. It's not the same place, and it's also going to be so much different for us executing the event, because it is
logistically.
It's so different. Like having it in our backyard, as we've had for the last few years here in Odense, makes it so much easier to for everyone to be included in it as well. So it is going to be different for sure. But I'm really excited for it, and I also think it needed a change. It has been similar event for quite a number of years now. It's been good. It's been really good, and we really settled into the venue and all of that stuff. But I think it's good to shake things up as well.
Yeah, if it's not too early to start some CG rumors.
Never.
The Thursday is very, very distinctly described as a Thursday dinner and show. I mean, from what I understand from talking with the events team, it's much of the same sort of concept and idea. But could this be the year that we finally see a move away from bingo? I reckon maybe possible. I also I note that we've got still that famous city tour and boat tour that's been happening in Unza for the past couple of years, but this time in Copenhagen, which is really nice. And so I hope people stick around a bit on the Friday, or at least maybe don't fly until the late afternoon, so you can hang around. I also hope that it's very clear on the program that people stay the Thursday night. You're not going to want to disappear just because the talks are finished, even if you're a business person. So that'll be nice. That'll be fun and interesting. I do know the venue very well because it's where NDC Copenhagen has been for the last few years, and I've been speaking there a few times. There is paddle courts directly behind the venue, so I know there will surely be some good activities there. War Pigs is directly behind the venue as well, so
surely be some good activities there.
Definitely some good activities there. I'm excited and looking forward to it. There's some initial speakers announced for before the CFP even opened. In fact, somebody we recognize. Although, how old are you there, Rune? About 15?
Let's go with 15. Yeah, sure. And I'm 27 now, right? So that kind of maps, I think.
a long while ago. So Rune and Boletta and Bjarke and Andy from the respective teams will be doing presentations. We've also got a .NET celebrity, Richard Campbell from .NET Rocks, and he has some amazing talk. So look forward to his session, and some other faces as well that I guess we will get to know a bit more about as time goes on. But the CFP is open, so you can go and you can start submitting your up to 3 topics now. That includes 45 minutes or lightning talks and then workshops as well. So that's pretty exciting. They describe in the description about all the kinds of things they might be looking for, and a bit of information that you need to fill out. I was going to say my number one tip. People always struggle with these CFPs a lot, and I write a lot of these. But there's an umbraCoffee episode from a while back where I shared my formula for writing an abstract. I think that's a solved problem. This question, why is your session relevant to the Umbraco audience, is where you should put your focus if you're going to be submitting a talk. Think about exactly what
that's a good point.
Gets out of it. Doesn't need to be paragraphs in there because no one's going to read it, and this is not going to be public information as far as I know, just a review. But like put a bit of work into making sure that is clear. You've nailed your USP for your talk. I think that will be really important. And tickets are on sale, so you can go and buy your tickets now. The super early bird price has ended. It ended last week, but the early bird price is still on sale, and you can go and buy those now. It is basically the same cost. It's not quite the same cost. It's like a few % more expensive, but it's basically the same cost as it was in Unza, and I think that's really awesome to see that you've managed to keep the event at that cost for so many years, in fact. So that's, thrilling, exciting. I know that if you buy more than 3 tickets as a partner, you get a free ticket to give to your client, to give to a customer, to invite them along, which is a really nice touch. Nice. And I said to the team the other day, who of our customers do we like at the moment and who do we not like?
Choose your favorite customer, then raise some fights internally.
Exactly. But yeah, a free ticket, that's a really nice touch. As well, if you buy 3 as a partner, there is a separate form you can fill out there's a code you put in that I won't reveal here if you're a Umbraco partner, so you can pay with your credits as well. So exciting all around. I think the communication for this is looking solid. I'm feeling really excited by this event. So good job to the events team and those who've been working on it. We'll look forward to seeing what Code Garden's like. Speaking of
I did. Oh, sorry.
Go on. Go.
No, because I said Code Garden was the easy answer. I did also want to highlight the Swedish festival and partner summit, Umbraco Cloud, and because that was a really great event. It's the first time I've been up there for festival and summit, and it was very exciting. The Swedish market has grown a lot this year. There's a lot more partners. We've also got a dedicated partner manager, 2 in fact now up there, which just makes all the difference in the world when you've got someone local, you know. But it was so exciting talking to a lot of new partners and new companies to the Umbraco sphere as well, who have been working with Umbraco for a lot of years. A lot of them have moved from Episerver or Optimizely and are looking for alternatives. And they think Umbraco is a really exciting alternative. So those conversations with people who are really just learning about Umbraco and getting excited about both the capabilities and the price point was just, I don't know, it felt like when I got into the community for the first time and had those conversations where you discover the capabilities and get really excited about things. So I just thought that was such a fun event to and really well run as well to attend.
I spoke there last year, and I tried so hard to get there this year. It was sandwiched between 2 events, also in the Nordic, but I'd have ended up being there for about 2 hours, which was not before I had to fly off again, so it wouldn't have been too fun. But I agree with you. No. Small intimate events are a great way of actually meeting more people, talking about Umbraco.
Quite a lot bigger this year, actually. Quite a lot bigger this year.
Yeah, but still not Code Garden size. So
no.
Much easier to meet with people and
yes,
we've been having the same.
Yeah, the same in Denmark, just in DK. Yeah. So.
Exactly, and we've been having the same experience in Australia, where last year we had UDUF and the partner summit there, about 60 people. We had a meetup a few weeks back where we had 30 people for the first time in a room, physically in a room together, and like the vibe is so good when you get that, and people being inquisitive about Umbraco, coming with their questions, saying, "Oh, we're new to Umbraco. What do you recommend?" This sort of thing. It's such a good feeling. So
compare it with WordPress. Those types of discussions. Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's exactly what I mentioned about the smaller events, Callum. But you were highlighting Spark as well.
I was going to just say there's one final event that we should highlight, which is Umbraco Spark, which there we go. Umbraco Spark, which has been a fan favorite for a lot of people for a while. It's in Bristol. It's a very good event. It's back on the 20th of March. They've got early bird tickets on sale now until the end of the year, 31st of December, and they also have a CFP open. Sessionize. Oh, I've just spoiled another event I'm speaking at. Never mind. There's a CFP open already. You can go apply for that. It closes on the 5th of January, which, if we're counting today as the last working day and the 5th as the first working day back for many after Christmas, the deadline's today to submit then, because you'll forget over Christmas if you're going to put a talk in. But yeah, Spark, more technical and innovation focused. And they've already announced a couple of speakers. Rachel and Ken are going to be doing different talks. There's a few more to come. A few sponsors announced as well. Where's that gone? Somewhere down here. Oh, yeah. Jibe, Mentor, Aspire, the former Method 4 team, and a couple others coming on board, along with the Umbraco Foundation. And great pre-party planned for the night before. There's always great after party. It's always a great laugh, Umbraco Spark. So, be sure to go check that one out. That's
I also missed it for a couple of years, and it's always like a small FOMO because it is nicely kind of spread across the community. So maybe 2026 will be the events year for me.
Maybe.
I don't know yet.
I'm taking a break. I've done far too many. I worked out. I did just over 30 events this year. Just too much. And that's all talking and traveling and whatever else. It's far too much. So I'm looking forward to a nice. Well, it was going to be 6 months off, and then I'm doing something in March, and I'm doing something in February. But at least January's off. Having a bit of break would be good.
So that's the plan. Any other exciting plans for the new year?
I mean, exciting plans for the Umbraco side of things is Umbraco Compose. I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be really, really, really fun to see what people build with it and how it's adopted. And I'm really, I don't know, maybe weirdly is the wrong word, but I'm really interested excited because it's the first product we're doing that is not tied to the CMS.
Yeah.
Like there will be integrations to the CMS, of course, but you don't need Umbraco CMS behind Compose, right? It's a content delivery network, or backend for frontend, or whatever you want to call it. So it can be a migration tool from Sitecore or whatever you're using now to Umbraco or something else. You know, like I think there's a lot of interesting scenarios there, and it's kind of fun to have a product that's not as closely tied into the rest of the ecosystem. I think there's something exciting about that. We haven't done that before, so
yeah, it is. It's exciting.
I think a lot of cases and use cases of this kind of platforms recently, and again, it's famous with AI. I was trying to avoid it as much as I could, but now it seems like it is, as you mentioned, even migration tool, migration option, or I used Xano as a backend for frontend platform, which was no code, kind of like a platform, which was awesome to work with. So it is a way to go as soon as it will be scalable and nicely used. So that's.
I think for a certain size of project or complexity of projects, it can really help simplify things. And then I'm also excited about the integrations that we do make for the CMS, right? So it can be easier for content editors to work with data across your digital ecosystem and things like that. I think that's super exciting. So winter keynote might be a good thing to join as well. There's definitely going to be news around a lot of the exciting things that are going to happen in 26, both around Compose, but also around MCP and AI and Umbraco Portal, all of these things that we've got going on at the moment. So I think the winter keynote will be exciting this year,
and that's
for sure.
That's on the 3rd of February at I think 4 p.m. CT. So
it's a good kickoff for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We'll make sure there's a link down below for that. I think you can sign up to get a reminder to make sure that you join. Awesome. That's all the news we had. I think we've covered a lot. December is such a weird one where it's like half a month and we've got to cover all the month's news, and at the same time, it's the whole month's news because everyone's going to disappear for a few weeks now, and in January we'll have really quiet umbraCoffee right at the end of the month, won't we, Marcin? Just like nothing is happening.
Maybe everyone is going to utilize a lot of time off to hack things around, and maybe let's see what will surprise us. But then we will definitely catch up and dive into the new year and see, maybe some New Year's resolutions and plans that will materialize over this break. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's put a final call to action because we've not done one of these for a while, Marcin. We are still not at 1,000 subscribers.
How?
Again.
It's been there and then we've dropped down and then we're like 13 away. Let's just get us there before the end of the year, please. Somebody.
Come on, 13 people can do this. Otherwise, I'll create 13 new accounts. I don't care. This will not stand.
Exactly. It will not stand. It will not stand. We won't give up until we get there. So like, subscribe. If you like the video, let us know, obviously, in the chat and in the comments. Share it with the people. Watch it with your family over Christmas. Let's hit that 1,000. Let's hit that 1,000 views. 1,000 subscribers. All the links that we shared today will be down below in the description, especially those events, the key things coming up around tickets and CFPs. Make sure you lock in anything you with upcoming deadlines. And Merry Christmas. Hope people have a nice time.
Happy holidays and Happy New Year and all of that good jazz. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Thank you, Rune, for joining us, and everyone else who's watching and who are here with us and will be watching us later. Have a lovely break, and let's see everyone else and each other in the next year. So take care, everyone, and have fun.